Spirit has chosen the Thirds BME spread for your general monthly reading. BME stands for beginning, middle, and end, and this spread is an excellent one for when timing is important. There are tarot cards that point to early and late in the month, but there's no clear way for them to say, pay attention to the middle. Until now, Thirds helps us assign information into these three sections. And that is what we're going to do today. Welcome into my great Virgos. So good to have you here. My name is Scott Sagent, ready for your Thirds BME spread, beginning, middle, and end. Let's dive in and get started. Beginning first, March 1 through 10. That is the beginning. The first thing they show here, Virgo, is that this is the first area of caution where they talk about finances. This is a time to be very authoritative with finances. Don't slack on it. Don't let it stuff slip. Don't delay. Don't put things off. Okay, it's not a good time financially. Like, this is a time when you want to get ahead of the game. They show a lot of Virgos have a tendency to kind of let something go here, and we don't want to have that because that's where bad things can spiral downhill. Snowball effect thing, small problems turn into worse problems and so forth. They're talking about chop wood with my Oracle Angel card. So they're really saying you need to get after this, Virgo. Like right now, whatever financially things that you have to get done, you got to get it done early March. Okay, do not wait. Okay, otherwise this is blocking your joy is what they show. And that's probably future joy. This is my second greatest card in the tarot deck. I love this card, the 10 of Cups. The problem is we have it blocked, Virgo. We have it inverted. So here in these first 10 days, it's saying, there should be joy here. And this should be a very happy time. But something is in the way. We need to get that thing out of the way. We need to get that rain cloud out of here, let the sunlight come through, which is the number one card in the tarot deck, by the way. And, just really... because they're showing that this actually affects more than just you two. This is more than likely the bigger part of your family or something like that. It just affects multiple people here. So getting these finances in check, and maybe for some people it could be like watching spending, not taking out credit cards or getting further into debt, or kind of making a plan to take care of these kind of things. Whatever you got going on here, beginning of March is the best time to address any kind of financial things. This can also be health things, but I feel like that's very small part of my audience. If they're saying like you've really let your health go, that same information would apply to you there. It's time to chop it out and get to it and that kind of thing. It's really blocking everything. But for most of you, that's going to be a financial kick right there, Virgo. Let's get into the middle of the month. The middle of the month, Virgo, is what this whole BME, beginning, middle, end spread is about. The Thirds. It's really putting the focus right here. And the first thing they show us here is that when we enter kind of March 10 through 20, there's going to be a lot of Virgos who are not very happy about something. Maybe things not going the way they expected. Maybe just down a little bit on their luck, something like that. Maybe emotionally they're just a little hurt or sad, that kind of vibe. And anytime we have this is the 5 of Cups in tarot. Spirit is reminding us all you got to do is just do a little 180 flip here. You just got to turn around. And in the picture, it shows this guy. He's got cups that are full behind him. He's looking at the ones that are spilled and knocked over. Okay, so it's a mentality. It's a perception. And Virgo, they're telling you to look at all the things you have. Don't overvalue the things that you don't have right now. Okay, it's the bigger picture. Look behind you. Look at all for example, if you lost a pet, you lost a loved one of yours, you lost a job. Well, look at the good jobs you've had before. You can get a good job. Look at all the great pets in that are out there in the world that are looking for homes. Okay, you can provide a nice home to a new pet. You get the idea. So just turn behind you. You can just turn the sucker around right here. But it doesn't change the fact that you're going to experience this emotion in some form middle of March. So it's more of what you do with it. Okay, because they show here that this is probably describing why you're feeling this way. They show the World card inverted. So they're showing something is not completed. So there's something here that's not wrapped up that you would like some resolution to, or you would like to be further along, or maybe something you expected to be different than the way it is. And they bring in higher power. So my Oracle Angel card is bringing us basically an angelic push. They're saying that the Virgo is going to be very highly attuned, very connected to the other side. You're going to have like 1 foot in spirit world, or at least they're going to have 2 feet in ours. Okay, so your spirit guides, your guardian angels, deceased loved ones for some of us are going to be here middle of March in a strong way. They got your back. Okay, so you don't have to worry so much about things. There's a bigger purpose, bigger story going on behind the curtains. The last moving part we have for the middle of March is my Lover's card. It's an interesting card to come up because I don't have any context with it. I don't have anywhere to place it, but my Lover's card is a good relationship between two people. It does not have to be romantic, even though it often is. For some of you who are single, they could be talking about a close friend of yours. You spending some time with them in the middle of March, or you going to a breakfast, you going to a little trip, a little getaway. Even if you're married up, you're coupled up here, this could be, something special you guys do together in the middle of March. Anyway, it's coming in very good. I got two, I got it on an upright. If it was inverted, if it was flipped around, I'd have my lovers hanging upside down. That would not be such a comfortable position. We don't have that though, so we're not worried about that. We have lovers on an upright right there. Good time to remind you guys too that this is a general reading. This is not going to hit everybody the same. Spirit does a great job of getting it to touch everybody, a couple parts for everybody. But at the end of the day, nothing beats a personal private reading, and those are available on my website, scottsagent.com, all the way from small all the way up to full service. A little something for everybody on there, and I can tell you I've seen such a huge difference in the clients that I read for on a constant basis. I recommend, getting a reading about every 6 months to keep just get a new snapshot of what is going on, and getting that advice, getting that ammunition. That's the difference that they have in their lives. That's why almost everybody I read for comes back and is a repeat customer, because they can see the difference in their lives the same way I can see the difference in their lives that it's made by giving them planning and preparation, because everybody struggles, everybody goes through challenges, we all have stuff to face. But the difference is you have that ammunition, you can face it a little bit better, and you can get on that divine path and on that path that is just a little bit less resistance than the others. So that's what it's all about there. Hope you guys spoil yourself with the reading. scottsagent.com. Calendar is open in March. Let's get into your set 3 here, which is the end of March 20th through the end of the month. First thing they talk about, Virgo, is getting rid of something, leaving something behind, and not looking back. It is like, maybe it's a person for some of you, maybe it's, long story short, it's something that has a heartfelt emotional attachment to you at the very least. So this is a big deal. This has sentimental value or something like that, but they show you getting rid of it. Maybe it's selling something you didn't really want to sell, but it has good value and it could benefit your life from selling. Or, maybe this is getting rid of somebody. Maybe it's getting rid of a habit. That would be leaving something behind and not looking back. And, I'm really going to miss going out with my friends drinking, but it's just time to live a different life now. Whatever it is for you. That's just a silly addition of that, silly example, but you get the idea of where I'm going with that. The next thing they show you is how this change happens. And it happens with my quickest card in the tarot deck. It is my 8 of Wands. It is quick, fast traveling news. So it's either that this leaving behind process happens that fast, or it's saying, unrelated to that there's going to be other fast traveling news that just comes to you quick. Doesn't mean if it's good or bad. It doesn't tell us. It just tells us that it's quick. This is something that you didn't expect to happen if it's outside of the leaving behind. If it's attached to the leaving behind, it just shows you how quick you're doing it. Otherwise, for everybody else, this is just coming in very quick. It's just like, hearing that somebody is pregnant that you didn't ever expect to get pregnant, or some kind of news like that is just coming in quick. And this is happy. This is a happy way to end the month. I really like the way this feels. I have my happy card in here, and this, whatever you're leaving behind, is for the better. I mean, it's going to improve your life so much, Virgo. And leaving behind is also full moon energy, so it's it doesn't surprise me one bit that Spirit has lined it up under the end of the month, because that's when the full moon is, and the full moon really helps you get stuff out of your life that you don't want. We'll talk about that momentarily here, but anyway, happy, finding that happiness in your life, finding that wholeness. That's your runestone. Wholeness is the runestone. So what makes you whole? What brings you fulfillment? What makes you feel good? These are the things to consider, not just in March, but specifically the end of March. Big push toward that. So wholeness, being whole. Now let's get into your extra angel protection card. This is something I forgot to do last month, not just for Virgo. I would never pick on my Virgos. I'm a Virgo too. But I forgot to do it for everybody. So here we go. This is something I'm doing in 2024 for all of my signs except for last month. You guys got the angel protection of the fates. The fates. So they're letting you know here that there is a big push of destiny happening in March. There are, like we said, higher power in the middle of the month. It's probably a big focus toward that, because there is stuff going on here that is beyond your control. It has momentum. It has destiny. It is less about your choices in March, especially the middle of it, than your direct control. And that's fine. It's just, you just got to recognize that you're surrendering the controls a little bit to the universe. So if you're a control freak, you might have a little issue with that, but I think that you're going to be just fine. So there is your angel protection. Now we're going to get into the moon cycles. I want you guys, specifically Virgo, to pay attention to the full moon, because that's a big one here for what you need to leave behind and empowering you to do so. And then we're going to wrap up with your homily, which is a little spiritual pep talk done by me. Okay guys, it is moon cycles forecast time. Let's talk about these lunar energies that are all around us anyways, so we can use it to our benefit, implement some positive change into your month. Well, the first thing you need to understand is whether these energies are coming in or going out. Just like the tides, the moon has control of that. In the same way, you can use it too. The first thing that hits chronologically this month is the new moon. You're going to see all the text information on your screen, any rare occurrences, as well as the date. Now, this is a target date for the new moon. It doesn't have to be done on this date, guys. I really like to bracket a few days before and a few days after to get a very powerful week where you can bring new things into your life and really manifest. If it is NEW, it's not there before, brand new, this is the best time to bring it into your life. Something new financially, maybe something new with work, new love, new health. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's new, this is the best time of the month to work on these things, really help bring it in. Adversely, the full moon, the opposite energy, the energy going out, hits on this date on your screen. And of course, the same rules apply. It doesn't have to be done on this date. We're talking about a week window, a few days on each side of it here. When this energy is very strong going out, and the energy going out is the best time to get things out of your life that don't belong there or that you don't want there. Something that's got control of you or hold of you that you don't want. Maybe something like a bad habit, maybe emotional baggage, a bill that's got to go. That would be something financially, maybe something with health, maybe an eating habit that's got to go. It doesn't matter if it's got to go. The full moon is your best bet to get this change to stick. If any of this has confused you, I've put together a moon cycle cheat sheet. I do it every single month. It is free. It is on the website, guys. You can check it out very easily. It is a little graphic illustration, a tool that you can use so you can kind of see these changes moving in and moving out, so you can align things in your month to it to really get them to stick, implement some great positive changes. Now let's get into your homily. Welcome into your homily for March 2024. Today we're going to be talking about an experiment with rats. This little guy here is going to help give us an example of hope and how important it is for humans to also have hope. So this experiment we're talking about was done at, I think about 1954, at least in the 1950s, from Dr. Kurt Richter. He's a Harvard grad. He is a scientist at Johns Hopkins, and what he studied, what the experiment began with, at least, was he wanted to see how long lab rats would last, who are very strong swimmers, by the way, in a bucket of water. So how long they could tread water for until they basically could not do it anymore and passed away. And by today's standards, this would be a cruel experiment. But in the 50s, a very different world back then. And this teaches us a very important lesson. So I'm almost glad that he did this for the sake of humanity learning how important this is. So what he did was he gauged that it was about 15 minutes on average how long the lab rats would last for. And he didn't understand why that was, because rats are very strong swimmers. They can swim. They're documented in science for swimming across large lakes, rivers, all kinds of things that take longer than 15 minutes. So the results weren't matching the real world, the reality of things. And he didn't understand why. So he set out to figure out why, because he started to realize that he thought they were giving up hope. It wasn't about that they couldn't last any longer. He thought that they decided that there was just no way out, no escape. And they literally just gave up, they surrendered. And in which case was their lives. So what he did was he gauged this by testing it, by doing the same experiment, except what changed was when he observed that they were giving up hope, when they were about to just take their last breath and go under the water, he picked them up, he saved them, he brought them up, he corralled them back he warmed them back up, made sure that they're breathing again, and back to normal. I don't know how long of a process that was, if it was a few minutes or 10 minutes or an hour, I'm not sure what. But once he felt that they were good again, he put them back in that same bucket of water. Nothing else has changed. So what do you think happened? We would expect maybe, okay, well, maybe they're going to last another 15 minutes because that's what they did before. Or maybe they're going to last less because they're a little tired, right, from running around before. But that was not the results, not at all. The results would blow your mind. These results were hours later, not just 15 minutes. In fact, some of these rats swam for 60 hours the second time in the bucket. The only difference is having been saved, having that little glimmer of hope that there is something to aim for here and that you can pull yourself out here. And even though the rat wasn't pulling himself out, he didn't know what was going on. But he did have hope implanted in him from being saved. And that savior mechanism gave him hope to persevere and to keep going. And this was copied over many rats. And it wasn't just one rat who's a marathon swimmer who just could go 60 hours. This was many rats who just kicked the butt of the 15-minute time window, the second go of it, by about 240 times over. So this is a glimmering beacon of hope for humanity, that this is what you can accomplish in your future by having a little bit of hope, by persevering, doing things a little bit longer than you naturally would, by knowing that things are going to change, things are going to improve, things are going to get better. So the question I propose to you is how much longer you can swim for, how much longer you can persevere for, how much harder you would work at this if you knew that you were just this close to getting out of it. If the rat can do it, you certainly can do it. So that is just the power. It's not just the power of positive thinking, because it's beyond that. It's something much more intrinsic, much more spiritual, much deeper. And that is the lesson that this rat teaches us. That's why I wanted to share this experiment with you. It's very interesting to me, very intriguing, and also very profound, because I think this is something that we can all do with proof of how positive the outcomes can be in our lives. So I hope you guys have enjoyed your homily. Hope you've enjoyed the reading as well. I hope you can implement it in March. Hope you have an excellent March. I know you will.
So I guess the fortune teller's right.